What is going on, YouTube? It is your average gamer here, Go Explicit, and today I'm going to be bringing you my top 5 must-have vehicles in GTA 5. So I'm going to kind of go in order of what I think you should focus on first. I'm going from kind of like a 5 to 1 point. Kind of the cheaper stuff or just kind of the easier stuff, especially when you're like starting out. Maybe grab these things first and then work your way up. But there's 5 vehicles I really think are just the vehicles to have if you want to make money. Like without them, I think it's just going to be a lot harder. And the quicker you can get these vehicles, the quicker it'll be for you to be making those millions. You know, getting into the heist, buying those cool apartments, getting all your businesses going, so on and so forth. So first off, I'm gonna just start you guys off with a supercar. And when I say supercar, just kind of any supercar, honestly, that you can soup out. The quickest way to get to one, I'm gonna show you guys my Deviste 8. So I love this car. When it came out, I think it was the fastest car when it actually came out. I know that they've done a lot of tunes and changes in new cars, but this thing is quick. And I mean, when it gets on a straightaway, like it can toast anything. So it's always good to have a supercar. One, for when you're racing, obviously. You can use the preset stuff, but a fully customized supercar goes a long way. I know that now things have definitely changed since the beginning of the game. It used to be a lot, better if you just drove around and stuff, and now obviously people fly around on oppressors and stuff like that, which I'll get to later on in the video. But I still think that terrible driving, please excuse that, but I still think that it's super important that you have a supercar. I know a lot of people may not use them, but if you can drive well, you have a good tricked out supercar, I definitely think that'll help you go a long way, especially in some of like the regular missions, especially when you're starting out too, because you don't have all the resources that people who are high level or have a lot of money have. So it's not like crucial. I mean, you obviously want a car, but I would get a supercar, and at least to have one available for when you do need it, when you need to get around and stuff. Obviously, the farther you get into the game, the more options you're going to have. But I would definitely go out. I definitely recommend the Deviste 8. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the car, the Principe Deviste 8 supercar. And I honestly don't even know if I'm saying that right, but the GTO is pretty good. There's a lot of good cars. If you go to Legendary Motorsports, there's so many cars. The Jugular's pretty new. The Paragon came out with the casino update. That was pretty cool. The Thrax actually just looks quiet. Tested it out a little bit. It wasn't as fast as I want it to be, but any of these cars honestly are quick. The GTO definitely highly recommend. It's not always the more money you pay, the faster you'll be, but in most cases, these higher dollar stuff, obviously any of the Pegasus, the Tyrant, any of these are going to be great for you. So I definitely recommend any of these in the Legendary Motorsport. Alright, so coming in at number 4, especially when you're starting out, I think one of the most important cars, and you actually get this through the fleet job and everything, the very first heist, I definitely recommend doing that, but you'll see it there, the Kuruma armored car. Now the Kuruma does come without the armor. It's much cheaper. The armored car actually comes in at $525,000 before customizations and stuff. I definitely do that. Just don't even worry about the other car. You're gonna need the armor. You can fly around. You can shoot out of it. It's gonna help you when people are shooting at you and stuff. But especially starting out, you don't have all the high-powered stuff. You're gonna need something with some armor. It's quick, relatively cheap, and it's gonna help you out starting out. I mean, I use this thing all the time whenever I first started out. I know the game has evolved a lot, and like I said, I know that there's more flying around and whatnot now, but I still think that it may be a little underrated at this point. You really do need a Kuruma. Customize it however you want. They're really cool to have. They're still quick cars, so I know it's just a sport. It's not actually a supercar, but they're still quick to get around. You can run into stuff when you're going through ambushes and stuff. This is a good car to have. It really does protect you. It really does help you. I use them in heists a lot. With other friends and stuff, if you get them all together, you can have a couple of these, it's going to help you out. So I know that the Kuruma is not used as much, but if I was restarting, if I was, at those lower levels again, I would definitely go for the Kuruma very early on, get it done, because once you have it, it's just going to help you accumulate more money later on. So at number 3, I had to think about it a lot, but still in that kind of starting out phase, maybe you have some money. You're still kind of trying to figure out what you can and cannot do. I'm gonna go with the buzzard. So the buzzard's really cool because it is 1.7 million. Okay, it's $1,750,000 for you to buy. It's personal. You can go to your vehicles at any time and request it and stuff. It doesn't come straight to you, but it'll come to something near. But the buzzard's a classic helicopter, holds 4 people, great for heist, missions, anything like that. It has miniguns, it has rockets that do lock on, so that's going to be super, super helpful, especially starting out. And keep in mind, things have developed, but it's still a good piece of equipment to have, especially starting out, lower levels. But what's really cool about the buzzard, actually, is if you have a CEO building, so once you're able to get that CEO building and stuff like that, you can actually call on the buzzard for free. It's one of the CEO vehicles, so when you go to that, and then you see buzzard, and it's at free. You can call them in, and they actually spawn in a little closer to you, and that's money you don't have to spend. So I definitely recommend doing that. Whenever you have the buzzard, you can take out that air stuff. It's not the quickest thing to get around. Obviously, you have to watch out for jets and B-11s and whatnot. But just starting out, maybe you're not going player versus player. You're just doing the story stuff. You're doing any kind of missions, anything like that. This is going to help you make money. I mean, I use this in literally everything I did. This and that Karuma. When I first started out, for sure, this is really, really underrated now because of obviously the oppressor and everything else that's coming in, kind of taking its place. But just starting out, I would definitely recommend this. You can buy your own personal hanger. That's how I customize it to be blue. That's maybe a little bit later on. Maybe that's not a necessity, but I definitely recommend getting the buzzard at number 3 spot just because it's relatively cheap, free if you have your. All you have to do is buy the office at $1 million, and then you become a CEO. And I think that's really, really valuable because free is hard to come by, especially in this game. All right, at the number 2 spot, I have the Oppressor Mark II. Now, if you know anything about GTA, you've played anything online, you know that this has been used by literally everyone. It's probably the top vehicle used. I see them flying around all the time, especially when it first came out. It's 2.9 million, so fairly expensive, but totally worth it. It's the quickest way to get around the map for me. Getting in and out anyways. From point A to point B. If you have a motorcycle gang, you can call it in through that, so extremely helpful. It comes through the terabyte, so you can use that in there. It starts out, weapons-wise, I upgraded straight to the rockets. I would definitely put the rockets on. It's so accurate that it's crazy. You kind of need, in order to take down a rocket bike or a Oppressor Mark II, I say you have to have another one. I really. And it depends on your skill level, obviously. So the more skilled you are, you can use different things. But once you work up to this, especially as a beginner, it really helps you master flying. It helps you take people out quicker. Like I said, you can get on it and go quicker. It's flying motorcycle. It's pretty dope. But if you finally work up to the money, I know it's a lot. You want to be able to buy the terabyte and everything, but having this, customizing it, it's quick. It's easy, simple. It's you go from the city to the country in a few seconds, 30 seconds tops. I usually get where I want to go, get to my MC businesses and things like that. So I know it's a little expensive, but totally worth it. Once you get it, it makes life way, way easier. Like I said, it's up there because of the money wise. I mean, if I had 3 million, I wouldn't spend anything on but the Oppressor Mark II. Like it's like that. It's definitely my most used thing. I have it all the time. I call it in everywhere I go. And I use it in everything now, especially as I'm a higher level. So once you get up there, once you start playing the game more and more, I say the Oppressor Mark II is going to be your best friend. All right, at the number 1 spot, I have the Terabyte. And the Terabyte has endless possibilities, to be honest. Once you get it, it just kind of opens up an entire world full of doing anything quicker, pretty much. It's 1.3 million, so that's without customizations and whatnot. So you may actually not drive the Terabyte around, as you can get into the cab, drive around just like a normal truck. It's really, really well armored, so it takes a lot to blow it up, a lot of rockets, missiles, and whatnot. But the Terabyte, it just makes life easier. Once you get enough money, you have to get the Terabyte in order to get the oppressor, so it opens up that portal. You can, it helps with all of your businesses and stuff like that. This is how you customize your oppressor Mark II. In this day and age, in this time in GTA 5, I think the oppressor is definitely the top most valuable thing you can have, just because of what it brings you, and the different possibilities you can have. So you can change your clothes, which I never do. But yeah, this is how you customize your oppressor, which is super important, especially once you get it. I don't know why I put that helmet on, but you can have all kinds of, your armor, your countermeasures. By the way, on the oppressor Mark II, make sure you use chaff. Chaff, when you release it, people can't lock onto you. So instead of flares, that's like when you've already been locked on, missiles are coming at you, you can release the flares. It's going to be more beneficial if you use chaff. So if you know somebody's about to lock onto you, do that. Then they can't lock on, and then you can just turn around and kill them or whatnot with the oppressor. But yeah, make sure you use chaff. You customize your engines, lights, all that good stuff here. And you can only do it on the terabyte. So it's super important that you get the terabyte. If anything, for that alone. So when you walk over to the board, and like I said earlier, you become a VIP CEO, all that good stuff. You can open this up. You can do missions to make money. You can resupply on cars from here. You don't have to go all the way back to your office. You can get other stocks and whatnot for your special vehicle stuff, your MC businesses, your bunker. You can call it all in from right here, and it makes it so much easier, so much quicker. You don't have to go back across the map, things like that. You don't have to fly back to offices, fly back to MC stuff. You don't have to do any of that now. The terabyte comes to you, and I think that's why it's so valuable. It just cuts time in half, because in this game, time is definitely money. The more you grind, the more you make, obviously legitimately. And so whenever you go down to services, you can see all your stuff. You call on the terabyte, you can request it. You can return it to storage and then request it somewhere else. You can get the oppressor, obviously. And so I just really think that this is the top vehicle right now, just because of the endless possibilities. It obviously opens the door up to so much. I love the Mark II. I love using it, but without the terabyte, you can't do anything with it unless, you want to fly around and try and kill people with machine guns, and at that point you just, you may already be dead. So you can customize this just like anything normal. Just, regular matte gray. I've changed it 100 times. It's just a big truck. It's heavy. It runs through stuff. It takes a lot of missiles to blow it up. It's really cool. The amount of time it saves you is ridiculous. Once you can work up to this, I think you really know how to make money at this point. And so if you don't know, I'll refer you back to my other video. I can show you the quickest ways to making money. The terabyte is in that. But this is definitely, my top 5 vehicles. There's all kinds of stuff that you can use. So don't think that, I'm not, perfect. Don't think that these are just the things you have to have. But there's all kinds of stuff you can use. This is the stuff that I use most often. I make a lot of money. I know I'm not even sitting on that much right now, just because of all the stuff I've been buying with the Diamond Casino heist and stuff like that. But I say you get these 5 vehicles, you're in pretty good shape. You're in good shape to make money, which, more money the better. And it's kind of a stepping stone. I think once you get one, you can work into the other, and then once you get there, you just start saving that money up. Any of the stuff, like some of the war stock vehicles, you can actually do things, and it'll let you know beforehand that if you do this, it'll knock down the trade-in price, so it'll be a little cheaper. Instead of buying, say, the Buzzard at full price, it would be a trade-in price of something cheaper. Make sure to look at that kind of stuff. But and I did all that. I did most of that to make things cheaper. But this is definitely my top 5 vehicles. If you have something different, let me know in the comments below. If I left something out that you thought maybe was important, I'll definitely take a look at it. I appreciate all the support, guys. It really helps me out. I love making videos. I love feedback. I love hearing from you guys. So I appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next video.